Some secrets are buried in blood, locked in boxes, or carved into the bayou's depths. In 1996, a Mississippi town unraveled under a killer's shadow, a man whose smile hid horrors too vile to name. A young woman's scream, a father's grief, and a wife's escape weave a tale that claws at the soul. Welcome to Darker Unveiled, where nightmares wear faces. Over the next minutes, a true crime saga unfolds, one of betrayal, survival, and secrets that refuse to die. Subscribe now, dim the lights and brace for the truth, but don't open the box. Evil lives inside. Part 1. The Man in the Mall. August 13th, 1996. Mobile, Alabama, August 13th, 1996. Gary Simmons, a broad-shouldered man with a calm grin, strolls into an electronics store. Customers bustle, staff ring up sales, and cameras hum, yet no one senses the darkness. Simmons records himself on a VHS, his voice steady, almost playful. "Hello, Laurie. It's a real mess, isn't it? It wasn't supposed to go like that." The tape, later found, is a confession, a taunt, a goodbye. Simmons is a killer on the run, and 35 miles away, his crime scene festers. What did he do, and why does his gaze chill the air? The answer lies in a house by the bayou, where death waits. Part 2. The Girl Who Escaped. Brooke's Nightmare. Same day, Moss Point, Mississippi. A frantic 911 call pierces the dawn. A young woman clutching a butcher knife bangs on a neighbor's door, screaming for help. Police find 18-year-old Brooke Weber, trembling, her eyes wide with terror. She repeats, they shot him, pointing to a house across the street. Officers storm the immaculate home, finding no blood, no struggle, only a human-sized metal box, its lid sealed tight. Brooke, in shock, is rushed to the sheriff's station, her words a broken refrain. What happened in that house, and who is him? The bayou behind the property holds the key, but its waters whisper horrors. Part 3. The bayou's gruesome secret. Police search the house's backyard, where a dock juts into the murky bayou. A boat bears drops of blood, fresh and red. An officer stumbles across an axe, its blade crusted with crimson. Then the unthinkable. Floating across the water, 88 pieces of human remains drift, a grotesque puzzle of flesh and bone. The victim is Jeffrey Wolf, a 21-year-old from Houston, Texas, dismembered with surgical cruelty. Mississippi reels. This is the grisliest crime in its history. Who could butcher a man like this, and why? Brooke, the girl in the box, holds the answers, but her story is a descent into hell. Part 4. Jeffrey and Brooke, a love cut short. Rewind to August 11th, 1996, Houston. Jeffrey Wolf, a charismatic 21-year-old, brings his new girlfriend, Brooke Weber, to meet his father, Pascal. "Dad, this is Brooke," he beams, his eyes alight. Pascal sees his son's joy. Jeffrey loves dogs, football, motorcycles, an all-American kid smitten after just weeks with Brooke. They plan a trip to Mississippi, a mix of business and adventure. On August 12th, Jeffrey kisses his father goodbye, promising to return soon. It's the last time Pascal sees him alive. What drew Jeffrey to his doom, and how did Brooke survive it? Part 5. The House of Horrors. August 12th, 1996. Brooke, now 45, recalls that fateful day in 1996. She was 18, swept up in the honeymoon phase with Jeffrey, charmed by his sweetness. They drive 6 hours to Moss Point for a business trip to collect money. At dusk, they arrive at Gary Simmons' house, but something feels off. No porch light glows, and Gary, waiting on the steps, exudes a quiet menace. Jeff said they were friends, Brooke remembers, wishing she'd questioned it. Inside, Gary offers drinks, and the men talk business in the kitchen. Brooke, seated at the table, senses no tension until gunshots shatter the night. Jeffrey collapses, blood splattering the blinds, shot through the chest by a stranger in the house. Who was this gunman, and why did Gary let it happen? Part 6. The Box and the Nightmare. Panic seizes Brooke. "I'm gonna die," she thinks as Gary grabs her, bear hugging her to another room. Hogtied, gagged, and locked in the metal box, she faces darkness and dread. Gary returns, his voice cold. Her survival depends on her performance. He assaults her, then seals her back in the box, alone with her fears. "I didn't think I'd get out," she later says. Hours pass, the box a coffin of despair. What kind of man builds such a prison, and how deep does his evil run? The answer lies in another woman's story, one that began years before. Part 7. Laurie's Hell, the Roots of Evil. Laurie Simmons, Gary's wife, received the VHS on August 14, 1996 at her workplace. His words, "I love you, it's time," chilled her, but her fear began 6 years earlier, in 1990. Laurie met Gary, a groundskeeper at her kids' daycare, after her divorce. They married on August 11, 1990, moving into the Moss Point house. Gary's charm masked his darkness. He filled 50 binders with stories of women held as sex slaves. "These are my fantasies," he told Laurie, who recoiled. After their daughter's birth, Gary's mask slipped. He assaulted Laurie, ignoring her pleas, and later choked her unconscious, tying her to the bed. A butcher knife traced her face, his arousal fed by her terror. Why did Laurie stay, and how did she escape? Part 8. Laurie's Fight for Freedom. Laurie confronted Gary, but his calm violence silenced her. The police dismissed her claims of rape and torture, citing no evidence. Pregnant with Gary's child, Mississippi law barred divorce, trapping her. With 3 kids, no job, and no money, Laurie fled with 2 diaper bags and suitcases, aided by a domestic violence group. She rebuilt her life, but Gary stayed close to her brother, Timothy Milano. In summer 1996, Timothy moved in to help Laurie, unaware of Gary's pull. What role did Timothy play, and how did Gary's web ensnare him? Part 9. Timothy's Betrayal, the Second Killer. August 13, 1996, 11 p.m. Gary knocks on Laurie's door, luring Timothy outside. "Gary needs my help," Timothy says, ignoring Laurie's warnings. He doesn't return. Hours later, Brooke, locked in the box, wakes to a ringing phone, Laurie desperately calling Gary's house. The unanswered calls give Brooke her chance. She breaks free, grabs a butcher knife and flees, hiding as Gary returns. Timothy, it's revealed, was the gunman who shot Jeffrey 9 times, coerced by Gary's threats against Laurie and her daughters. Why did Timothy pull the trigger, and what broke his soul? Part 10. The Bayou's Truth, a Father's Grief. Police uncover Jeffrey's remains in the bayou, 88 pieces scattered like a butcher's discard. Pascal Wolfe, learning of his son's fate, collapses in grief. "They cut him up," his brother tells him. "Why, my boy?" Pascal sobs, haunted by Timothy's betrayal. He'd sheltered Timothy, fed him, only to be repaid with Jeffrey's murder. Timothy turns himself in, confessing to the shooting, while Gary, after sending the VHS, surrenders blocks from Laurie's workplace. What drove this carnage, and how did Brooke's courage expose it? Part 11. The Trial Brooks Stand. October 11, 1996. Gary Simmons and Timothy Milano face trial for Jeffrey's murder, Brooke's kidnapping, and her assault. Brooke, the sole witness, dreads facing Gary. "He tried to have me killed from prison," she says, her body shaking as she takes the stand. Jeffrey's parents, Pascal and his wife, sit in the courtroom, their presence stealing her. "If they can endure, I can," Brooke resolves. On August 28, 1997, the jury convicts Gary on all counts: murder, kidnapping, rape, sentencing him to death. Timothy, guilty of murder and kidnapping, gets life without parole. But for Brooke, fear lingers. Is justice enough when evil persists? Part 12. Brooke's flight, a life in hiding. Brooke changes her name, dyes her hair and runs, haunted by Gary's reach and his family's shadow. "I thought Laurie hated me, that her kids would hunt me," she says. For 27 years she hides, losing herself to fear. Gary's execution in 2012 brings no peace. His spectre looms. Why does Brooke run from Laurie, and what truth awaits her? The answer comes in 2023, when a meeting changes everything. Part 13. The Meeting Healing the Wounds. 2023, 27 years later. Brooke, now 45, is tired of running. During an investigation discovery interview, she learns Laurie wants to meet. Hesitant but yearning for closure, Brooke agrees. "I need to know if she'll hurt me," she says. At the meeting, Laurie's words stun her. "You're my hero, Brooke. My children are alive because of you." They embrace, tears falling. "I never saw it that way," Brooke says, her burden lifting. Laurie finds closure. Brooke finds strength. How does one moment heal decades of pain? Part 14. The Legacy of Survival. Brooke Webber, once the girl in the butcher's box, stands tall. "I'm not a victim, I'm a survivor," she declares. Her escape exposed Gary's evil, saved Laurie's family, and brought justice for Jeffrey. The bayou's 88 pieces, the bloodied axe, the metal box. They're scars of a nightmare, but Brooke's courage is its light. Laurie, free from Gary's shadow, honors Brooke's bravery. Pasquill, forever grieving, clings to his son's memory. What makes a survivor, and what does evil leave behind? The house in Moss Point stands empty, but its echoes scream. Conclusion. The box unlocked. This tale, Jeffrey's blood, Brooke's box, Laurie's escape, Timothy's betrayal, is a wound in Mississippi's heart, a mystery of human darkness and unbreakable will. A VHS confession, 88 body parts, a butcher knife in a trembling hand. Why do some survive while others break? Gary's secrets, written in binders, lived in flesh, but Brooke's voice silenced them. Drop theories in the comments, and if the dark calls, subscribe to Darker Unveiled. Hit the bell for more truths that cut deep. But if you hear a box creak, run. Some doors should stay locked.